Another black man dies in an altercation with the police, and another liberal narrative is born. Daunte Wright, a young black man, was killed while resisting arrest in what seems to be an accident by the police officer. The officer yelled, "Taser, taser, taser," then shot Daunte with her pistol during a struggle. Van Jones, CNN's go-to race hustler, went on Cuomo's primetime show to create the talking points about policing in America. He said that police officers should not have all these different kinds of weapons when dealing with small driving infractions like a taillight being out.
But there's a deeper problem, which is that the policing methodology that we have in the country right now is both dumb and dangerous and discriminatory. It is dumb to have all these cops out here with all these weapons, tasers and pepper spray and batons and guns and dogs and drones, pulling people over for like little, what do you call it, your taillights out? You're going to throw that much firepower against communities on stuff like that? Send them something in the mail. I have a white female friend who says she was pulled over recently for a similar infraction, and all she got was a talking to, and "Have a nice day, ma'am."
Well, Van, you seem to have left out that Daunte had an outstanding warrant, and you left out the part where he resisted arrest. Did your white friend have a warrant out for her arrest? Jones finished the interview by agreeing with what Barack Obama recently said, which is that we have to reimagine policing. So what? You want to disarm the police now? I'm sorry, but police officers have to be armed because of people like Daunte Wright. They have to arrest people like Daunte Wright, because a warrant is a court order to arrest. There was one thing that could have been done, though, that would have made the outcome of the situation completely different, and that's compliance. Had Wright not resisted arrest, he'd be sitting in jail right now, and none of us would know his name. But that wouldn't stop him from being part of a different liberal narrative. You know the one, that there are so many black men behind bars because the system is racist. I know the left will say I'm victim shaming here, but why was there a warrant out for Daunte's arrest? Well, his bail was revoked because he wouldn't stay in contact with his probation officer. According to the Daily Mail, he was arrested a year ago for attempted aggravated robbery, a crime that comes with up to 20 years in prison. He and a friend tried to rob a lady the day after a party where the lady let them sleep on the floor the night before. Quote, Defendant Wright then pulled a black handgun with silver trim out of either his right waistband or his right coat pocket and pointed it at the victim and demanded the rent money, continued Mickelson. Victim said, "Are you serious?" Defendant Wright replied, "Give me the effing money, I know you have it." When the woman again asked if he was serious, Wright is said to have replied, "I'm not playing around." Mickelson's report said the $820 cash was tucked in the victim's bra, and Defendant Wright placed his hand around the victim's neck and choked her while trying to pull the cash from under her bra. The victim was able to get loose from Defendant Wright and started to kneel down and scream. After more yelling, Wright allegedly told the woman that he was going to shoot her unless he got the money. "Give me the money and we will leave," he allegedly said. "Give me the money and we will go." Mickelson added, Defendant Wright then tried to choke the victim a second time and tried to take her money. Defendant driver was telling her to give Defendant Wright the money. End quote. If the armed robbery charges against Daunte Wright are true, he should have already been locked up. And he was exactly the kind of person who finds himself in a life and death struggle with the police. Is that the system's fault? Look, if you watch the video, it's pretty clear that the officer thought she had a taser in her hand. That was a grave mistake, but she only had to use force because Daunte resisted arrest. Listen, I was taught from an early age that even if I didn't think I was doing anything wrong, I should comply with an officer's commands. My father said it was the safest thing I could do in that situation. And sure enough, one time I was handcuffed and told that I was going to jail by a couple of police officers and I hadn't done anything wrong. I didn't resist, and once the situation was sorted out, they let me go. Compliance is key. It doesn't mean that there aren't cops out there who are abusing their power. There are some. And those cops should lose their jobs and be held accountable for their actions. But the narrative that's continually spun by the left when it comes to the police isn't close to the truth. But even worse than that, it creates a worse environment for the people they pretend they're trying to protect. If people like Van Jones or Barack Obama wanted things to get better, they would talk about what Daunte Wright could have done to change the situation. And they wouldn't pretend that he was killed over a minor traffic violation. Congressman Maxine Waters even took it a step further. How could a trained officer make a mistake shooting an unarmed man with a gun instead of a taser? Hard to believe. Let me get this straight, Maxine. Your thought is that in this current environment, this officer had a premeditated plan to kill a black man and claim it was a mistake and then resign from her job immediately? I'm sorry, but you and the other race hustlers are actually doing everything you can to ensure that these kinds of situations continue to happen. It's terrible, it's counterproductive, and it's time that we talk about it on the national stage. This officer made a tragic mistake. That has to be a part of the conversation. But so did Daunte Wright. He made the first tragic mistake. But they don't want us to talk about that. His actions are off limits. His character is off limits. The only thing we're allowed to know about him is that he was black. That's it. And as long as we allow the discussion to be only about someone's skin color and not their actions or the content of their character, things are going to get worse. But let's be honest, that's what they want. Democrats gain a lot of power by keeping their voters frothing with anger. And that's the simple truth. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and if you want to become a supporting member of Blue Collar Logic, click on the link in the description and give what you can.